Hello, this is Bob Gray Sr. Welcome to Ministry Moments every Friday, Lord willing, at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. And I hope that you'll join us. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe. Not a sermon. You want sermons, just go on YouTube. There's a lot of preaching there, and a lot of our Solon clinics are on Jack House Library, and just you can go there. But it's very practical teaching, and I'll just give you point one, point two, point three, and so on. I want to talk to you about leadership today. So get a pen out, jot this down. We will not be as long as usual, so we'll get right to the point and get out of here. And leadership, number one, real leadership must be self-motivated. A leader that's not self-motivated is not going to accomplish much. He's got to be self-motivated. He's got to a pastor, if he's the right kind of pastor and leader, deacons don't lead him, he leads them. And he's a leader and leads from the front, not the back, not the rear. And so you've got to be self-motivated. Paul said to Timothy, stir up the gift of God that's in thee. You have to learn to stir yourself. You cannot expect on the external. And by the way, that's good. I love listening to the old sermons, the old preaching. I love Jack Trieber's Preacher's Classic. I think it's Preaching the Bible Classics or something like that. You can go on to podcast and download it. They're just preachers that from the past that built great works and were great Christians. And but all of those men, and Dr. Robertson, self-motivated. He would say, "I'm looking for ways to motivate Lee Robertson." I would have people in to preach who motivated me, not necessarily the people that didn't necessarily get motivated, but I did. It did something to me. And Brother House taught us as young preachers, make sure we have older preachers in. And I did that. I get so aggravated sometimes. They'd come in and preach something that I preached, and because they were great men. Our members went, wow, wow, did you hear that? That was just wonderful. And I want to slap them and say, good, I've been preaching that for 25 years, and you get excited about it. But anyway, a leader's got to be self-motivated. He's got to rise up because he wants to rise up early. He can stay up late, and work because that's what nobody told him to do it. His schedule is his boss. Self-motivated. Number two, we got to hurry. Teachable. Leadership must be teachable. If you're teachable, you're reachable. Brother Hiles, when we travel, I traveled with him 22 years. First 11, not every week, once a month, but last 11 every week. But he would pick up stuff, throw it in the back of his Bible. One time I got my nerve up and asked him, I said, what was that? What are you doing? He said, I'm collecting ideas, going to put it in a book and sell it back to him. And he did by the thousands. Leadership. Number one, must be self-motivated. You got to motivate yourself. Can't depend on others to do it. Number two, teachable. Number three, a survivor. Lee Robertson said one time to me about Brother Jack, calling him Brother Jack. He said, they were going through a battle. It was a big one. It was a humdinger. And Dr. Robertson said to me at my place, he said, Jack's a survivor. Jack's a survivor. And that was his favorite coining of a phrase for Dr. Jack Hyles. He's a survivor. And he did survive. That's where the Pentecost Sundays came after his attack, tried to destroy him, tried to kill him. And so I remember a columnist from the Chicago Tribune called me and he said, I understand you're a graduate of the college there and you're the Hiles spokesman for the family. I said, no, nobody speaks for the man but himself. No, I'm not. You want to call him, talk to him. And he said, well, I've got one question. And he said, what are you going to do when Jack Hyles falls? I said, I have a question for you. What are you going to do when he doesn't fall? Well, the guy got fired because of plagiarism. And and Brother Hyles did not fall. So, well, he's a fallen man. No, he's not. You don't know what in the world you're even talking about. You're 45 years of age. What do you know? I mean, what do you know? Good night. Who are you listening to? Depends on who you listen to. I guess the opinion you have. Well, I knew the man. I wrote him a letter one time and said, I've always loved you at a distance, but being up close, I love you even, admire you even more. Talking about leadership, number one, must be self-motivated, must be teachable, a survivor. Number four, visionary. These great men, Dr. Robertson saw things that his staff didn't see. He was a visionary. Curtis Hudson was a visionary. He heard Dr. Rice, Dr. Hyles in Atlanta, and he was a post office employee He was a delivery man for the mail, and he picked up a sword and saw where Jack Hyles baptized at that time, 500 some odd people, and he said it must be a misprint. So he went to the conference in the daytime, sat in the back, and he said, Brother Hyles up there screaming, somebody ought to do it in Atlanta. Somebody ought to do it in Atlanta, just screaming and hollering. And Kurt Hudson said by then, he said, man, I had ants in my pants, man. I was ready to go. And I said to myself, you shut up. I'll get out and I'll do it in Atlanta. Well, he built the largest church in Georgia and one of the fastest growing churches in America, a visionary. He saw things that others did not see and couldn't explain really what God was doing. I said leadership must be self-motivated. Number two, must be teachable. Number three, must be a survivor. Number four, visionary. Number five, a finisher. How many times have pastors said, we're going to start this program and then never finish it? And then start a new program, then start this program. You're going to lose confidence. Stability creates security. If you're not, if they can't trust your word and what you're going to do, then I promise you're going to lose them. They're going to leave you. I promise you. I promise you they will. So, talking about leadership, must be self-motivated, teachable, a survivor, a visionary, a finisher. Number six, probably the same thing, but a completer. Complete things. Be a completer. I like annual things. I like the annual soldering clinic. I like the annual teen convention. I like the annual whatever annual spring program, fall program, annual big day in the spring, annual big day. I love Christmas time. Happy birthday, Jesus. We did the same thing every year, and oh, God bless it. I'm talking about leadership. Must be self-motivated. Are you self-motivated? Or somebody got to get you out of bed and get you going? Lazy. Number two, must be teachable. Must be a survivor. Must be a visionary. Must be a finisher. Must be a completer. Number seven, live a separated life from the world. Uh, I have a sermon I preach on the hind's feet. The hind, front legs, back legs, the dog track, like you've seen trucks do, cars do. But they were very timid, defenseless, and they raised their young in the mountains. And when it come time to die, they crawled up there, curled up, and died in the mountains. The mountains and the cliffs were their protection. You're living far above the world is your protection. Oh, yeah. Uh, Separated unto the gospel, Romans says, 1:1. So it's just not separation from the world, but it has to be to something, from something to something, from the world to the gospel. All right. Leadership must be self-motivated. This is going to be a quick one today. Must be teachable, must be a survivor, must be a visionary, must be a finisher, must be a completer, must live a separated life. There'll be something different about you. Now, laity separation is different than Levitical separation. If you want to be a layman, be a layman. You want to drink tea on Saturday and sit by the pool and or play golf and let the world go to hell, then just be an average member. But just in case, if God has called you and God's put his hand on you, maybe you surrendered to full-time service like I did, well, then live a separated life. There ought to be a Levitical separation as well as a laity separation. Number eight, dedicated spouse. You cannot have a thriving and prosperous ministry and not have the home front like it ought to be. I'm not saying every kid you have is the right kind of kid or so on. And I don't think you ought to quit the ministry because you got an idiot son or an idiot daughter. But control them out of there. Now, when they get out of there, that's fine. They'll answer to God for it. But don't quit the ministry because you got a rebel kid. Well, I failed somewhere. No, you got a stupid kid. Are self-willed and they hide it, maybe. Maybe they don't see it. But boy, I'd make sure they were in church. You make sure they take a bath, don't you? You make sure they go to school, don't you? Well, then I'd make sure that they dress right. I'll never forget my youngest brother come to visit Daddy in Rowe, Arkansas. Came time for church on Sunday night, and my youngest brother said, "I think I'll just stay at the house." And Daddy said, "Well, come here, son. I want to show you something I bought." He stepped outside and then locked the door behind him. He said, "Sit out here until we get back, or go to church with us." I love that. I love that story. Leadership must be self-motivated, must be teachable, must be a survivor, must be a visionary, must be a finisher, must be a completer. Quit starting so many things and try finishing one of them. Number seven, live a separated life. Levitical separation, not laity separation. Next, dedicated spouse. Oh, man, my wife and I prayed together. Every book that I've ever written has her blood in it, has her mind in it. What a great, great. Oh, she had it rough, boy. And that medication that she took, I remember a couple of years there, boy, it was really rough. And God bless her, what a sweet lady. But she'd been through 50 surgeries since 1980 until she went to heaven 2023. Just a rough, rough life. But what a wonderful spouse she was. When I would do my daily quote or daily ministry idea, I'd be sitting behind the desk and she'd be sitting in her chair and she'd hear me and I'd holler out, what do you think about? What do you think about? She said, no, change that, add that, whatever. So her mind is in all of that work that I did. Leadership must be self-motivated, must be teachable, must be a survivor. You don't know it all. Must be a survivor. Got to be a visionary. Got to be a finisher. Got to be a completer. Live a separated life. Dedicated spouse. Number 9, predictable. Predictable. When I'd sit on the platform, my children would tell me later, time for a commercial. Surely Coke ought to give me some money for that. When I was sitting on a platform, if I was grinning a lot, smiling a lot, Scott would say, boy, Dad's mad at somebody. I'd take that 3x5 card out and start. I remember I had 3 vocal cord surgeries. And I remember 6 months I was told not to preach, not to speak. So I had a 3x5 card. I would write things out. And the staff would laugh because when I got my red pen out, wrote it in red, I was really upset. But crazy thing. Church grew, offerings went up and everything when I wasn't preaching for 6 months. I thought about just sitting there the rest of my life. And a dear preacher friend up in Ohio, I called him and I said, I can't preach. So they got me 6 months. He said, I don't care. So he flew me up, had me sit on a platform for 2 days. And he said, as far as I'm concerned, you can just sit here and that's what they did. Dr. Robertson had the same thing happen to him. He wrote out his resignation. They said, no, 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 you're not gonna resign the chair of the board. So if you just crawl to the platform, we'll be happy. We're talking about leadership. This is what I've noticed in John Rice, Jack Hyles, Curtis Hudson, Tom Malone, Carl Hatch, Lee Robertson. You want me to keep going? Great men of God, great men of God. Uh, they all had these qualities: self-motivated, teachable. Now they were human. They were human. I remember the pastor at First Baptist Church of Fort Worth tried to get Tom Malone to come for that great conference he had during the holidays, Christmas, New Year's, and he would never come. And he bothered him because they were buddies. And so he called and said to Mrs. Malone, well, how come I can't get Dr. Tom to come preach for me? She said, you don't know? He said, no. He was waiting to hear some dreadful thing he'd done. He said he loves bowl season, football. He ain't about to go anywhere to preach for football season. So this preacher, God bless him, First Baptist Church in Fort Worth, it's Southern Baptist Church, now dead. But anyway, he put, back then it was ABC, NBC, and CBS. That's all there was. So he put 3 television sets in the motel room and told him, he said, you don't have to preach when there's a bowl game on. He said, you'll preach in between. And so that's what he did. And so Don Malone came. They're human, 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 human. Brother Hiles one time with John Rice, Indiana's playing for the finals. And so he said, Dr. Rice, let's switch tonight. And so they switched first and second speaker so that he could sit there and watch the basketball. Human, they're human, but God used them. They're great men of God. I heard Brother House say, he said, I'm not the best Christian at First Baptist Church of Hammond. He said, I guarantee you, I get more prayers answered than the membership of First Baptist. And he was right. Talking about leadership now. Number 1, must be self-motivated. 2, teachable. 3, survivor. 4, visionary. 5, finisher. 6, completer. 7, live separated life, Levitical separation. Number 8, dedicated spouse. Number 9, predictable. Number 10, no jealousy. No jealousy. The guy across town is doing more, and he's fundamental, independent, premillennial, temperamental, King James only. And applaud him. Don't try to pick him apart. Oh, we need every team player we can get. No jealousy. Number 11, no egos. Number 12, soul winners. All these great men, these great leaders were all personal soul winners. Clean credit, clean credit. They paid their bills. That didn't mean they didn't get in debt from time to time, because they did, but they had clean credit. Number 14, a person of his word, kept his word, kept his word. Don't tell me you're going to give me your word and then turn around and quit. And by the way, when it happens, God's going to bless you. God will take care of them. You don't have to go after them. You don't have to try to hurt them, try to kill them, travel the country bad mouthing them. You don't have to do that. God will take care of that. Vengeance is mine is the way you quote it, saith the Lord. That's just not the way it is. All right, so number 1, self-motivated, teachable, survivor, visionary, finisher, completer, Levitical separation, not laity separation, dedicated spouse, predictable, no jealousy, no egos, soul winner, clean credit, a person of his word, and next, a man of prayer. You know, prayer, getting prayer answered, it's yes, no, and not now. Some of your prayers will not, you're not ready for them to be answered, but a man of prayer. I find myself here at age 80, I find myself talking to God all the time, praying, talking to him. I pray for my children. I pray for Scott. I pray for Karen. I pray for Kim. I pray for Bob. I pray for their families. And I pray for my sister, Palaver. I pray for Jerry. Pray for Sandy. I pray for them. I do. I pray for them. I want God to bless them. I pray for our children, grandchildren, children not even born yet. I pray for them. And I want them to be saved. I want them to be, and I want them to come back to the fundamental world. And don't judge me by my grandchildren. Don't do it. Don't do it. They've got their own life. They've got to make their own decisions. And don't blame me if some of my grandkids are doing things that, as far as I know, that they're not drunkards, they're not whoremongers, they're not wicked people, not wicked at all. But it's a different world now than the world I was raised in, the ones I raised my kids. And I'm very proud of my kids, Bob and Scott, Kim and Karen. Proud of them. They're faithful to God. They're all soul winners, and I'm proud. They do things like I would do it because I'm right all the time. You see, right? So I said, talk about leadership, self-motivated, teachable, survivors, visionary, finisher, completer, Levitical separation, not laity separation, dedicated spouse, predictable, no jealousy, no egos, they're soul winners, clean credit, person of his word, man of prayer, man of the Bible. Number 17, head of the household. That does not mean that every kid is obedient. I had a dear friend, great ministry, and his son just went wacky. And the daughter went wacky. And he wrote out his resignation. And in our private conversation, I said, don't do it. Well, it's just going to hurt my ministry. No, it's not. It's going to hurt them. It ain't going to hurt you. When they're at home, you lead them well, but don't throw the thing overboard because of the fact you got an idiot kid, an idiot daughter. Okay. Talking about leadership now, and we're just about done. Just about done. Self-motivated, teachable, survivor, visionary, finisher, completer, Levitical separation, dedicated spouse, predictable, no jealousy, no egos. They're soul winners, clean credit, person of his word, a man of prayer, man of the Bible, head of the household, a disciplined schedule. Nobody tells me when to get up, what to do, and what to. I've written 36 books. You got to be a man of your schedule. We got to hurry. Number 19, help the poor. Help the poor. I was picking up my laundry, and I noticed this guy pulled his car up, and he was going from business to business to business. Then when he came to the cleaners, I said, "Man, what's the story?" He said, "I'm trying to get to the hospital in Jacksonville. I've got family there, and I'm about out of gas. I have no money. I have no money. I need help. I said, pull across the street. I filled up his tank with gas, led him to Christ. And he came to church next Sunday. Man alive, the poor people. It's not, and by the way, it's not just poor economically. I think sometimes we play that into that definition when the truth is poor in spirit. A lot of poverty that's more than just financial. We got to hurry. Number 20, lead by example. Leadership got to be in the forefront. Lead by example. Next, loves his people. All these great men that I've mentioned, they love their people. They love their people. Brother Hauser put blinders on to kind of sense how the blind grappled with life and plugged his ears, the deaf, and just so many things that he did to make sure that he sensed what his people were going through. And then the last point, aren't you proud of me, huh? His work is his life. His work is his life. Tiger Woods does not play golf for fun. He plays it for money, and so do the others. I don't play golf for fun because they don't cut the grass where I play. Boy, I can hit that ball, but I can drive that thing. Don't know where it's going, but I can drive it. Talking about leadership, self-motivated, teachable, survivor, finisher, completer, Levitical separation, dedicated spouse, predictable, no jealousy, no egos, soul winner, clean credit, person of his word, a man of prayer, man of the Bible, head of his household, a disciplined schedule, helps the poor, leads by example, loves his people, and then his work is his life. Well, that's it. Boy, we did a lot today, didn't we? I hope you'll listen to this over and over again and look at it over and over again. I think it'd be a blessing to you. God bless you. Have a great soul.